Let me tell you something. In a world that constantly tries to shake you, test you, break you, your greatest weapon is composure, grace. That quiet fire in your eyes that says, I see what you're doing, but I won't flinch. You see, strength isn't just in the noise you make, it's in the silence you master. And when you learn to act as if nothing affects you, you become unstoppable. People will doubt you. They'll judge your walk, your voice, your dreams. They'll whisper behind your back and sometimes scream in your face. But guess what? That's not your truth. That's their noise. And the moment you give it power, you hand them the keys to your peace. Don't. Instead, wear your ambition like armor. Smile when they expect you to crack. Walk taller when they pray for you to fall. Let their negativity be background noise while you script your legacy. When the world pushes you, tests you, mocks you, your first instinct may be to strike back, to defend, to react. But real power isn't found in the noise of retaliation. It lives in the silence of control. When everything around you is screaming for your attention, your anger, your reaction, choose stillness, choose grace. Because the loudest voice in the room isn't always the strongest. Sometimes, it's the one that doesn't need to shout at all. Composure isn't weakness. It's the sharpest form of strength. It tells the world, you can't shake me. I'm centered. I'm grounded. I'm not here to play your game. I'm here to win mine. People will poke at your emotions, press your buttons. Try to get a rise out of you. Not because they're powerful, but because they're powerless. They feed off reaction. And when you give them that, you give them control. But when you stay calm, when you pause, when you choose not to be baited, they lose their grip. You teach them that you are not a puppet to be pulled by their strings. You're a force. Calm as the ocean before a storm. Steady as the mountain that watches centuries go by. There's nothing more intimidating than someone who refuses to be emotionally hijacked. This doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you master what you feel. You process it. But you don't perform it for the world. Because the more control you have over your emotions, the less control the world has over you. When you walk into a room and own your energy, when you don't flinch at insult or praise, when you stay poised in the middle of conflict, people take notice. They might not say it out loud, but they'll think it, that one's different. That one's unshakable. That's what true composure earns you. Respect without demand. We live in a world that glorifies instant reactions, rage tweets, viral meltdowns, public confrontations. But let me tell you something. What's viral isn't always valuable. Sometimes, the most powerful statement you can make is no statement at all. When you choose not to engage, not because you're afraid, but because you're elevated, you rise above the noise. You become the calm in the chaos. And people remember that. They remember the ones who didn't lose themselves when everything was falling apart. They remember the ones who held their ground with quiet dignity. Power doesn't come from dominance. It comes from discipline. The discipline to not respond to every insult. The discipline to walk away from drama. The discipline to protect your peace at all costs. When you master your response, you master your life. The world will keep testing you. People will keep trying you. But each time you stay calm, each time you choose grace over rage, you build a fortress around your spirit. And inside that fortress, you're untouchable. Not because the world stops coming at you, but because it no longer gets inside you. So, hold your head high. Breathe deeper when they want you to explode. Smile when they expect you to break. There is something fierce about the one who won't be moved by chaos. Something magnetic about the one who chooses peace in a world addicted to conflict. That is the kind of power that doesn't fade. That is the kind of strength that doesn't need to scream. And when you have that, you don't just walk through storms. you command the sky. No matter how pure your intentions are, no matter how disciplined your heart may be, people will talk. They will talk when you rise, and they will talk when you fall. They will twist your silence, misinterpret your moves, and mock your dreams. That's the nature of the world. Opinionated, loud, and often misinformed. But here's the truth, none of that deserves your attention. Because the second you pause to defend your path to people who were never meant to understand it, you delay your own evolution. Their noise isn't your soundtrack. Their volume doesn't define your value. Let them talk. Let them assume. You have bigger things to build. Every great person who ever walked this earth had to fight the same war. Internal focus versus external noise. Do you really think legends wasted their time replying to critics? No. They stayed buried in their purpose, obsessed with the mission. They understood that every ounce of energy given to nonsense is an ounce stolen from greatness. You don't owe the world explanations for your ambition. You don't need to respond to every whisper, every sarcastic laugh, every eye roll. You owe yourself progress. And progress doesn't happen when you're distracted. It happens when your eyes stay forward, locked on your why, unbothered by the world's noise. The more focused you become, the louder the world gets. Isn't that strange? The minute you start walking in your truth, it seems like the whole universe tries to test you with doubt, jealousy, and false narratives. But that's not a sign to shrink. That's a sign that you're becoming noticeable, that your movement is making ripples. And what do we do when ripples come? We don't panic. We don't turn back. We swim harder. You have to get comfortable being misunderstood. You have to be okay with people building stories around you that don't match your soul, because their version of you will never be your responsibility. Focus is a form of freedom. When you truly commit to your mission, the outside world starts to blur. The voices lose their sharpness. The judgment loses its sting. You start hearing your own heartbeat louder than their opinions. That's when you know you're aligned. The ones who change the game aren't the ones arguing in every comment section or explaining every move. They're the ones too busy creating, too busy building, too deep in their purpose to entertain drama. That's where real success lies, not in the spotlight, but in the shadows of focused work that the world doesn't see until it's done. And yes, it's lonely. Yes, it's tempting to respond, to clap back, to set the record straight. But think about it. What's more powerful, proving your point or proving your purpose? Let them underestimate you. Let them think you're quiet because you're weak. Let them laugh now, because the day your vision becomes real, the day your mission is complete, those same voices will have no choice but to change their tune. They'll go from mocking you to mimicking you, from questioning you to quoting you. And you won't need to say a word. That's the reward of staying focused. So keep your head down and your spirit up. Ignore the noise, not because you can't hear it, but because it doesn't deserve space in your mind. Keep your eyes on your mission, not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. The noise will always be there. The opinions will always exist. But your mission is sacred. It's yours alone. And it deserves your undivided, unstoppable, unshakable attention. There's something incredibly powerful about a person who knows when to stay silent. In a world addicted to quick comebacks, viral reactions, and loud opinions, choosing silence isn't weakness. It's strategy. It's not about biting your tongue out of fear. It's about recognizing that not every battle is worth your energy. Sometimes, the smartest move you can make is no move at all. Silence creates mystery. It creates space for people to wonder. And in that space, power grows. You become unpredictable, unreadable, and that makes you untouchable. People can't twist what you never said. They can't argue with a silence that holds confidence. We've been trained to think that silence equals surrender. But that's a lie. Silence can be the strongest stand you take. When you don't respond to gossip, insults, or doubt, you refuse to validate it. You strip it of the reaction it craves. And the moment people realize they can't disturb your peace, they start losing their own. Let them talk. Let them spin stories and poke at your spirit. Your silence doesn't mean they've won. It means you're saving your voice for something bigger. Something greater than explanations. Something louder than arguments. It means you're letting your growth, your elevation, and your results speak for you. There's a reason silence feels so uncomfortable to people. It forces them to reflect. And when someone can't rattle you, they have no choice but to face themselves. That's where your power lies. When you stay silent in the face of noise, you control the tempo of the room. You become the one with the higher frequency. You walk in with calm, and suddenly the chaos feels small. You don't chase respect, you embody it. You don't demand validation, you radiate value. And people begin to realize that they can't shake someone whose foundation is too solid to crack. Silence also gives you clarity. It gives you time to process, to breathe, to think without reacting emotionally. In silence, you can zoom out and see the situation for what it really is. Was it really worth your words? Was it really about you? Or were they projecting their insecurities onto you? Most of the time, it's not even about you. And once you realize that, your silence becomes your shield, a calm, steady barrier that protects your energy from being drained by people who aren't even operating on your level. You realize your voice is too valuable to waste on noise that doesn't build you. Then comes the best part. When silence is followed by success, that's when the real message is delivered. Nothing shuts down doubters like results. Nothing silences critics like undeniable achievement. Your silence becomes the build-up, and your success becomes the punchline. You don't need to announce your moves when your growth is loud enough. You don't need to correct their version of you when your reality outshines every rumor. The sweetest response is when people have no choice but to respect the person they once underestimated. That's the kind of silence that echoes louder than any speech ever could. So the next time you feel the urge to defend yourself, to react, to explain, pause. Ask yourself, is this worthy of my voice? Or is this the moment where silence will say everything for me? Hold back not out of fear, but out of confidence. Confidence that your energy is too sacred to be scattered, and your destiny too great to be delayed by distractions. Let silence be your power move. Let it be your strategy. And when the time is right, let your actions make the kind of noise that needs no words. There comes a point in your life when you have to stop justifying your dreams, your choices, your evolution. You are not here to be understood by everyone. And you are certainly not required to offer a presentation every time you make a move. Presence is a language. It speaks volumes without uttering a word. When you walk into a room with confidence, grounded in who you are, people feel that. They sense something real, something unshakable. That's what presence is. It's silent power. You don't need to explain why you've changed, why you dream big, why you left, or why you stayed. You just need to walk like your purpose is leading you, not public opinion. The truth is, most people don't want explanations. They want control. They ask questions to keep you small, not to understand you. The more you try to justify yourself, the more permission you unconsciously give them to doubt you. And slowly, you chip away at your own authority. You weren't born to fit inside someone else's expectations. You were born to rise beyond them. The most powerful people are rarely the ones who speak the most. They're the ones who speak with their presence, their calm, their clarity, their consistency. That's the kind of statement no words can rival. You don't need to convince anyone of your worth. Convince yourself through action. Prove it through results. Build a life that speaks so clearly for itself. There's nothing left to debate. You want to know what silences critics? Excellence. You want to know what replaces long explanations? Results. You want to know what shuts down doubt? Showing up every single day without the need to ask for applause. When you pour yourself into your craft, when you commit to becoming better than yesterday, you no longer need validation to feel valuable. Your work speaks when the room is silent. And that's when they start listening. Not when you beg them to, but when they have no choice. Explanations are often rooted in insecurity. We over-explain when we want to be liked, accepted, or understood. But guess what? That's not your job. Your job is to align with your truth and move forward. Some people will understand you, others won't, and that's okay. The goal isn't universal approval. The goal is personal alignment. If you're constantly explaining yourself, you're not evolving, you're negotiating. You're watering yourself down for comfort. But real growth requires unapologetic decisions. You don't need to soften your voice so others can sleep better. Speak through your actions and let those who get it, get it. You want to be unshakable. Then build a presence so bold it eliminates the need for words. Let your life be your answer. Walk into opportunities without needing to justify why you deserve them. Take up space without apologizing for your existence. Work in silence if you must, but let your success create noise they can't ignore. The moment you stop explaining and start embodying who you are, everything changes. People may not always like it, but they will respect it. And respect lasts far longer than agreement ever will. So show up. Show up for yourself, for your vision, for your next chapter. Show up with fire in your soul and discipline in your habits. Let your character speak before your mouth ever opens. Let the energy in your eyes say what your explanations used to. Because the world isn't changed by people who beg to be understood. It's changed by those who move in truth, stand tall in storms, and let their presence tell the story. The world is constantly moving, buzzing with opinions, judgments, and distractions. Every conversation, every glance, every headline carries energy, and not all of it is meant for you. Yet we absorb it, unintentionally allowing that chaos to seep into our minds. We carry burdens that aren't ours, overthink things we can't control, and let the moods of others dictate our emotional weather. But here's the truth. You are not a sponge. You're not here to soak in everyone's energy. You're a gatekeeper. You get to decide what enters your inner world. Your peace is not public property. It's sacred territory. Guard it like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Every time you choose to internalize someone else's anger, anxiety, or negativity, you hand them control of your internal thermostat. You let their storm become your silence. But imagine if you flipped the switch. Instead of absorbing, you observed. Instead of reacting, you responded. That's the difference between someone who's always drained and someone who's always in command. Your energy doesn't have to be a reaction to the world. It can be the standard that shapes it. You don't have to match the chaos around you. You can remain calm and centered and let others adjust to your frequency. People will bring their drama to your doorstep like it's a gift. Decline it. You don't have to entertain every complaint, respond to every insult, or participate in every argument. Protect your space. Protect your time. Protect your vibration. The moment you realize that you don't owe your energy to anyone who hasn't earned it, you start living differently. You speak with intention. You move with grace. You learn how to stay present without being pulled in 10 different emotional directions. You stop reacting to every wave and start sailing your own course. Being unbothered isn't cold. It's powerful. It means you've matured past the need for emotional chaos. You don't get caught in the noise because your focus is on the signal. You don't panic when things get loud because you built your calm from within. That kind of self-control is magnetic. People feel it. They notice when you don't flinch, when you stay grounded, when you handle storms without letting them enter your soul. That's when they start to respect you. Not because you shout the loudest, but because you don't need to shout at all. Energy management is a form of emotional intelligence. It's knowing when to engage and when to step back. It's understanding that not everything requires a reaction. Some things require redirection. When you master this, you start to thrive in spaces where others drown. You become the calm in the room, the one who sees clearly when everyone else is blinded by emotion. And that clarity, it's your superpower. It allows you to make decisions from a place of peace instead of pressure. It gives you the ability to move forward without constantly being pulled back by invisible strings. So choose wisely. Every day, energy is coming at you. Some of it uplifting, some of it draining. But you're not helpless. You have the power to filter it, to transmute it, or to reject it entirely. Not everything deserves your attention. Not everyone deserves your emotional access. Create boundaries that protect your inner world. Maintain a mindset that is immune to small distractions. And above all, remind yourself daily, you are in control. The energy around you doesn't have to become the energy within you. You are the thermostat, not the thermometer. In a world addicted to outrage, where everyone is quick to shout, argue, and prove their point, the quiet one stands out. The one who doesn't need to explode to express strength. The one who doesn't fall into the trap of noise and chaos. That person holds real power. Because rage might be loud, but it fades. It creates sparks, but not stability. Resilience, on the other hand, is enduring. It doesn't need a microphone. It speaks through survival, through progress, through persistence. While rage burns out, resilience builds. It becomes a steady flame, lighting a path long after the screaming has stopped. There's something captivating about someone who refuses to be shaken. Someone who moves with calmness even when the ground beneath them trembles. That's not passivity, it's discipline. It's self-mastery. It's the quiet voice that says, I'm not afraid of this moment, and I don't need to yell to prove that. Resilience doesn't react to every attack. It doesn't demand approval. It stands firm. It outlasts. People may mock you, misunderstand you, try to provoke you. But when you respond with calm strength instead of chaos, you change the entire dynamic. You control the temperature of the room, the energy of the interaction. That's true dominance. So many people waste their energy on being seen in the moment, but resilience is about being remembered for a lifetime. It's about choosing progress over performance. When the world pushes you to scream, to fight, to prove, you rise in silence. Not because you can't speak, but because you know your growth is the loudest thing about you. Your comeback doesn't need captions. Your breakthrough doesn't need commentary. You let your journey speak for itself. That's the kind of strength people don't forget. The kind that doesn't just survive the storm, it commands it. Rage is reactive. Resilience is intentional. One erupts quickly, the other rises slowly. And slow is powerful, slow is steady. While rage is often a symptom of pain or ego, resilience is a choice. It's waking up. Again and again. Showing up even when you don't feel like it. It's refusing to stay down when life knocks you flat. It's pushing forward even when no one is clapping, even when no one is watching. Because resilience isn't driven by attention. It's driven by purpose. And purpose doesn't shout. It simply pulls you forward, with or without applause. In a society that idolizes drama, the calm person becomes a mystery. They become rare. They become magnetic. Why? Because they don't play the same game. They don't compete in chaos. They rise silently, they achieve quietly, and suddenly, everyone turns to look. Not because they demanded attention, but because they earned it. Their consistency became louder than any outburst ever could. That's the beauty of resilience. It may not be flashy, but it is unforgettable. It roots you so deeply in your truth that no storm can uproot you. And while others exhaust themselves yelling, you're building, brick by brick, day by day. So when you're faced with drama, distraction, disrespect, don't match it. Transcend it. Let your stillness speak. Let your growth roar. Be the one who doesn't crumble under pressure, but crystallizes under fire. Because in the end, the world remembers not who was the loudest in the moment, but who kept rising long after the noise was gone. Resilience isn't a reaction, it's a legacy. And those who master it don't just survive, they dominate. Silently, unshakably. In the end, rage fades, but resilience echoes. It's not the loudest voice that wins, it's the one that never quits. While others burn out trying to be seen, the resilient quietly rise until they're impossible to ignore. So choose the long game. Choose strength over show. Choose discipline over drama. Because your calm presence in the chaos is your true power. And when you stop performing and start persevering, the world will watch. Not because you demanded it, but because you earned it. Let your life be proof that quiet strength always speaks the loudest.